Roll, please.
Ross. Hamilton.
Here.
Taylor. Here. Robinson.
Here.
Baxter.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Insulaco.
Here.
So we have a quorum.
Thank you. If everybody standing, Mr. Barber, will you come forward for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we do come before you this evening, and Lord, we just lift up the city council, Lord. We pray that you would give them wisdom, Lord, and grace and mercy as they guide this city. We pray that you would just watch over us all, and especially our first responders, Lord, electric department, fire department, police department, Lord, that we might be able to carry out your will for our lives in the city and just give you glory in all that we do. In Jesus' name, all God's people said.
Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So moved.
Motion. Second.
Ross.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
Thank you. If anybody would like to put in communications, hey, would you? If not, I'll ask for a motion and a second.
Move to accept and file.
Motion is second.
Second.
And a second.
Ross.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
Presentations now. I'm going to call Mr. Macon up. Cal, if you don't mind, come up, please, sir. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are y'all?
Thank you. Go ahead. You're up.
So what I wanted to do was ask the city council for a 60-day extension in regards to our first option for our contract for all 3 lots. We're meeting with the architects tomorrow, and the reason for the extension is after we were approved last time for the Tempo brand, we have engaged with Thomas Engineering that's done most of the work down here in North Little Rock, and so we got them to kind of consolidate all the lots and make them into one plat instead of having multiple plats on multiple different lots. And so he's in the process of doing that. It's been to the city for approval this week, if I'm not mistaken. And so as soon as that gets the T's crossed and I's dotted, then we're ready to move forward and probably just go ahead and close on it and not even ask for the other extensions. But this was kind of a preliminary site plan in regards to the site that we had. It was something that we put together for, the architects put together to submission for Hilton. So we can do the application to make sure that when we say, hey, we wanted to build at least 120 guest rooms, that we would fit 120 guest rooms. So current count is about 127, so.
Questions? Anybody? So what you're asking for is to go ahead and put up and extend it for another 2 months? Is that what you're asking for, Mr. Macon?
Yeah, so go ahead, Amy.
Oh, and I just wanted to explain to the council that the existing contracts, there are 3 contracts because there are 3 parcels, provide for a 60-day extension with approval by the city council with the payment of additional escrow, and it says that no reasonable request will be withheld, and Mr. Macon and I have actually been working with the title company this week, getting the closing documents ready, that I don't think that he'll probably even need the entire 60 days.
Questions,
Yes.
anybody else? So what we're asking for is, can I go ahead and ask for a response right here from the council?
And that's something else. I've spoken with Mr. Davidson, Cal's
Yep.
attorney.
Okay.
And if we could have a motion and do a voice vote on this, just so it will be in the minutes that it's reflected that you all have approved granting the extension.
So we're asking for a
I'll make the
motion from Debbie to extend it for
Second.
another 2 months, is that correct?
60
Yes,
days.
60
And
days.
there's a second from Ms. Robinson? All in favor?
Aye.
Got it.
Thanks, Cal.
All right.
Thanks, Cal, appreciate your time.
Glad to see the Dozier across the street.
See you later, Cal, thank you. Cal, no, wait a minute, we've got him this time, we've got 1 more we can extend, is that correct?
I think there may be 2 more that we can extend.
So, yeah, so all intents and purposes are, the only reason why we're asking for this is this extension is because to cross the Ts and dot the Is. There's a lot of things that the city has to come together to,
Okay, I got
but
you.
we're ready to close on Wednesday if the city wasn't ready to grant us the
Well,
extension.
we're fine
so.
right now. It's good. We gave the other 2 months.
And you all will have a couple of more resolutions in front of you next time. One to correct a legal description. The title company needs a resolution approving that. And also, the contracts are currently under Cal Macon to authorize an assignment to his LLC.
Cal, can we ask you who you're dealing with, or is that for public knowledge yet, as far as what hotel chain?
Hilton. So the last time when we did the presentation and everybody approved it, so that's the brand that we're going with is Hilton, and it's going to be Tempo by Hilton. The naming on it is, it's Tempo at the Argenta Arts District. It's something creative that we came up with to tie in the Argenta name with the whole thing.
Mr. Taylor?
So wait a minute. What are we doing?
The title company, the contracts are currently under Cal Macon.
Yes.
And the title company has asked that you all approve an assignment to the LLC that Cal wants to put this into. And on the parking lot resolution, we didn't have the correct legal description at the time that you all passed the resolution because I got it at the last minute. And so it is the title company that's requiring for the title insurance that we also approve correcting the legal description on the contract.
So we're changing a resolution, and I'm just trying to make sure that we're procedurally correct.
Right.
And we just do it by voice vote?
On the amendments to the contract, y'all, that's why I said y'all will have resolutions in front of you on that.
Okay.
Any more
Sec-
questions? Cal, anything else?
So Pippin did, he's in this deal, so.
All right, thank you
A
very much.
local native, so.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go.
All right, unfinished business. R2403, Councilmember Hamilton.
They showed up, and I haven't had a chance to talk with them. I got some pictures today. I'd like to hold that one more time and have a conversation with them before I bring it before you.
R2417, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an enhanced community service agreement with Argenta Arts Foundation, DBA, Argenta Downtown Council, for the amount of $240,000.
Move to adopt?
Second.
There's a motion and a second.
Ross?
Ms. Ross, you want to ask a question?
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
Ms.
Yeah,
Ross.
no, I have some
Yeah,
questions.
I know you got some questions, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things under Exhibit A, and I don't know if Mr. Kent could just come up here for just,
Chris, are you in the audience tonight? Mr. Kent? I see him. He's coming. Yes. Yes, sir. Identify yourself, Chris. I got to have it
Chris
correct.
Kent, Executive Director, Argenta Arts Foundation.
okay, so one of my questions, and I know I ask this every year because the Argenta Downtown Council Arts Foundation has extended the plants up to 18th Street. And I know that was one of the reasons that I was all for, the extra money last year or the year before. But the goal was to get it to Pershing, from 13th to Pershing in Ward 1.
Right.
So in this Exhibit A, there's nothing about that. It's, in that exhibit. So do we need to amend that in? This is a question for the Ms. City Attorney.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
If that's going to be a part of their agreement, then yes. I was not aware that that was
It was just a
supposed to-
verbal agreement last year when we were going through this, and that was one of the things. So that's why, I just want to make sure that we've got this in here, if that's what,
Right, well, we're at 21st Street right now, right before Hodgepodge is where the plants stop.
Right.
And the plan for 2023 was to actually extend down to Pershing, but if you go that way and see, it's kind of a tough area for maneuvering around in the little golf cart with the tank on the back to water there. So from like 21st on past the high school, there's not a lot of, it's just a little bit of a safety concern there. So we hadn't made it all the way. We do have 140 hanging baskets purchased this year to put them in. It's just we have to figure out how to do it safely with our people that are out there doing the work.
So when you say the hanging baskets on the light poles,
Correct. The hanging baskets on the light poles. And then, we have, we added 15 planters on the street. I think we are down to 14. Somebody ran over one. And those extend up to 18th Street there, but we would need to purchase some more of the low planters as well to go forward. We'd love to do it. We think it's a great project to get to Pershing and then connect up with all the other city buildings.
so there's no way that they could possibly, water them? The only way that they can be watered is with the truck?
Well, we've got the small cart that we use. We've got 2 small carts with 100-gallon watering tanks on them. Usually it takes them about 7 hours a day to get all the watering done for the entire downtown. So it's just, when I've talked to Kenny Stevens about this. It's just trying to find a place, because a lot of places they go on the sidewalk with the cart to stay out of the right-of-way of the street, especially early in the morning when they have to be out there. And we have to have 2 people on that side, just because there's a lot more foot traffic coming up, and we can't just have Monica out there by herself watering at that time of day either.
So at the intersections then at Pershing and Main, is the possibility of getting the large planters out there then? Because you could water those from the parking lots.
I think so. Yeah, we just would need to work to get the planters on
And so my
site.
question is, do we need to amend this Exhibit A to show that that's the actual work that's being done, rather than just voice,
If,
last year.
if that is a part of the agreement and they are committing
Yes.
to doing that, I guess it'd be called beautification up to Main Street,
Right.
then I would suggest amending the Exhibit A with the description of
Okay.
services to
Okay.
include that.
That works for me.
I'd like to make that amendment, but I don't know how you would word that.
Okay, before the, a motion to amend to approve the contract contingent upon, the, Exhibit A description of services, adding a provision that the beautification with flowers and plants will be extended up to Main Street and Pershing.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll add that in before they sign.
Okay, so that would be my vote, my
But
amendment.
there's a amendment.
Second.
Hang on a sec, there's a motion, a second. Ms. Robinson, go ahead. Let's wait on the amendment
Can
for
I
just a sec.
talk
Yes, you
now?
can. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm glad, Ms. Ross, that you spoke out tonight for Mid-City, because I've been looking at it and it just didn't look quite right to me. Every time I drive through there, what I think about is a little dab of do ya. So I'm glad that they're going to extend and take care of Mid-City, because I know it should be a different plan because it's different. The topography or geography or whatever is different. But I would like for Mid-City to look just as nice as Argenta.
Thank you. We have a motion, a second, or amendment. Mr. Taylor?
I guess here's my question. Do y'all have the bandwidth to pull that off?
I think we do have the bandwidth to pull that off. Our daytime crew, we've got Calvin Dean, who is here in the audience with us today. He's been with us for 14 years doing this work. Monica Butler, John May. We've got 3 full-time people and 2 part-time people to do this. So they've been carrying it up to 21st Street and some all the way down from Washington Avenue as well. So I think we do have the bandwidth to do it. And Ms. Robinson, I agree with you 100%. I think Mid-City is critical to the city. I think we need to add some trash cans down there. We don't have any trash cans in Mid-City right now. So we need to be, like our guys that are out there every day, they're picking up trash all the time. And we just need to have some cans, a few other nice things, and we should see a big difference happen there.
And I'm looking forward to it, because we got Central Fire Station about to happen on 13th and Main. I know Arnessa's out there, and we've got a Christmas tree, so we need to make it go as far. So
And
we
the
have
Boys Club.
Anybody else? I think we have a motion, a second on the amendment. Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Okay, is that where we are? Motion, second on the amendment.
Right? Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And I guess on the,
On the
Is there a
resolution?
motion to adopt as amended?
Motion to adopt as amended.
Second.
awesome. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Sulaco?
Yes.
Thank you.
R 2419, Mayor Hartwick.
Yes, please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an agreement to rehabilitate property for certain real property located at 1722 North Magnolia Street in the city of North Little Rock.
And I'm going to ask, is the
Yeah,
applicant here?
I was wanting you to, please.
Because if they are not,
I'm going to hold it.
I spoke with him, and it's my fault he's not here today. We had a language barrier, and I misunderstood what he asked, and so I'm going to tell him he needs to be here next time. So I apologize. It's
Hold it.
not his fault he's not here
Hold it.
tonight.
Let's hold it. All right,
Thank
let's hold
you.
it, please.
Correction on that, 02403, Councilmember Taylor.
We'll hold it.
Okay, sir.
Why are we holding?
02407, Councilmember Taylor.
Say again?
07.
02407,
We're gonna hold that.
okay, sir. That concludes unfinished business.
All righty. Let's go to consent agenda, and the consent agenda will go forward from R 2427 all the way through, I think that goes all the way through R 2435, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
27, are you leaving it on?
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to hold R 2427. Let me explain why on that. We had a lot of comments today with, through the emails, and there's a miscommunication on that about they wouldn't have informed of who was, here's what I understand. There was nobody from the Lakewood Property Owners Association that had any input in this. So I've talked to Mr. Callahan, told him we was going to hold it tonight till I get a response from the Lakewood Recreational Area Improvement District. So that should be coming to us in 2 weeks. And so I'm just going to hold it for right now until we get.
Your Honor, I've been in court too long.
Yeah.
Honorable Mayor, they said, you're saying nobody knew?
Nobody, I've got several, let's put it this way, I think, I had several comments today through emails that they were not informed of from the commission, that commission, who they were asking to be on this board. So I did talk to Mr. Callahan and say, Mr. Callahan, till we get from the commission of sponsoring you for this commission, where I'm going to hold it for 2 more weeks.
So just to make sure, since that was stated in public, I'd like to state that I go to those meetings, and I was certainly informed. Like every other commission that we have as a city, when people show up, I mean, that's more notice than we have usually for planning commission or the library or most of the boards. So I believe notice was absolutely accurate, and I trust them what they do. So, I mean, I disagree with the notice issue, but certainly.
I
willing
talked to
vote
Mr.
next
Callahan,
time.
he said he was going to go through the procedure, and asked for Mr. Blake. I even talked to Ms. Ross
Happy to
about
do
it too.
so.
Huh?
I think, Councilmember.
You and
Taylor,
I,
must be on
and
the-
all of us are in
we
the
must
same
be on
boat.
the same thing, because
Yeah.
I went back, we get the most in Lakewood. If you're in the Lakewood Improvement District, you get this little mailer, and right there, it has the calendar of the board date and everything. So, I mean, it's kind of like the city council, we post it, but we don't, I don't know what more we could do. And so it's up to the individuals to come to the meetings,
Yes.
to be informed.
I'm asking to hold it for 2 more weeks. I see somebody.
I have no problem holding
Was
it.
you on this, was you on here to speak tonight? I may have missed you, so if you'd like to, R 2428, I don't see it on here though. Am I missing one?
R 2427.
7 rather, yes, R 2420. Oh, I got you. Ms. Daniels, I do have it. Thank you for getting my attention. I did not see it. Thank you. So you're up, Ms. Daniels.
So she's here to speak on something you're holding?
Yeah, public comment section, but she's talking about this. You want to hear her now or wait?
Well, this legislation is being held. If she wants to speak at public comment.
Let's
that's
do it
up to
this
the
way.
meeting.
I'm holding this. It's going to be held.
There's more to it than what you're
Well, then-
holding. And I'm sorry,
Then
Let's do this.
Then the
I got-
appropriate time.
Hang on, I got it.
why? He's not been at any of
Do
the
me a
meetings. I've
favor.
been at
You're in
all
the
of them.
public comment section, okay? It's going to be held tonight, so after the meeting's over, you can come up and speak it, okay? It's this way it usually has to run. And I just didn't see it to start with. My apology, okay?
That is okay.
So stay for the meeting, okay? Stay for the meeting and comment, please. Okay? Thank you, Ms. Daniels. Thank you. My apology to y'all, I did not see her on there, so it gets kind of, anyway, my apology. All right, so we're gonna hold it, I'm holding R 2427. Let's go forward, please.
Okay, on the consent agenda, you've got
Let's go ahead, R 24,
27
28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and I think we was going all the way through 34 and 35, if I'm not mistaken. Is that, Ms.?
That's correct.
All right, Ms. Ross, yes.
I'd just like to pull out R 2434 for an explanation.
R 24 what?
34.
Okay. Go ahead. That's the wastewater treatment for that explanation. You want, let's pull it then and we'll address it separately. Got that? So right now, we're authorizing R 24, 35, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, and 28. Got it? So, on the consent agenda, everybody say aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. We're held number 27. Let's go ahead and bring up, as it said before, the R20, I can't, I stay to 34 is what I'm trying to get to, okay?
Okay. 334.
Okay.
34.
R 2434, Mayor Hardwick.
Please.
A resolution authorizing the city attorney to initiate eminent domain proceedings on behalf of the North Little Rock Wastewater Treatment Committee against property located at 4021 East Broadway in the city of North Little Rock.
Yes, ma'am.
The only reason is that, you know, eminent domain, we very seldom ever do. I think I only remember maybe 2 that we've ever done in 16 years. And so if we just kind of an explanation of why it's
Michael,
needed.
come on up, please, if you don't mind, please, sir.
Why is it
Question?
eminent domain?
Did you hear the question? Mr. And
Think so.
identify
You
yourself,
want-
Michael, please.
Yes, my name is Michael Clayton. I'm the Executive Director for North Little Rock Wastewater. I think the question was to explain the need for the...
Just why it's
Yes.
needed.
The Rose City Health Clinic is located in a spot that does not have access to public sewers. The nearest access point is actually across Broadway to this triangle piece of property on the west end. We need to extend the sewer line to the east end of this piece of property and bore under Highway Broadway, East Broadway, to directly access the property where the health clinic is currently under construction. So we're ready to move forward with the construction of the sewer main extension and having a contractor come in and do a bore under Broadway so we can get the sewer line over to the public main over there.
This is for the Baptist Health Clinic.
Right, and I just want to make clear that it's not a house or anything. It's just a piece of land that you're trying to get the sewer hooked up to the new health clinic, correct?
That's correct, and there's absolutely no negative impact to the existing property. It would be inside the building line. It's a 15-foot dedicated easement that we're asking for so we can have access to sewer for the health clinic.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. Anything else from anybody?
Move for adoption.
Vote for
Second.
adoption?
Second.
Second?
Ross?
Yes?
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Pike? Hard question, he's not here. Okay. R 2436, Councilmember Ross, Hamilton, and Insulaco.
Please call it.
Amy, Mr. Height wants his name on this too, so.
Oh, okay.
If you don't mind,
I don't mind. I'll write a note now.
please, or if you go ahead.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an amendment to the contract for McCain Median Landscaping Phase 2.
Move for adoption.
Motion adopted, second.
Ross?
Yes?
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
R 2437, Mayor Hartwick.
Let's do this. Let's read them all if you don't mind, and then I'll convene a
Oh, I'm
public
sorry.
hearing if you don't mind after that, and then I'll ask, but let's go ahead and read them all, please.
Yes, sir. R 2437, 905 North F Street. R 2438, 2216 Sasser Court. R 2439, 2514 Parker Street. R 2440, 5801 Shamrock Drive.
I'm going to convene a public hearing on these. Those wishing to speak for or against any of these addresses, please come to the microphone, please. Those wishing to speak for or against, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll adjourn this public hearing. If you'll go ahead and call it.
R 2437, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution declaring certain building, houses, and other structures located at 905 North F Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
Motion.
Motion to adopt.
Motion, and there's a second.
Second.
Okay.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
R 2438, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution declaring certain building, houses, and other structures located at 2216 Sasser Court in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Motion second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Thank you.
R 2439, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution declaring certain building, houses, and other structures located at 2514 Parker Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Motion second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And R 2440, Mayor Hartwick.
Sure it's not 2441?
That'll be next.
Yes, please.
Okay, sir. A resolution declaring certain building, houses, and other structures located at 5801 Shamrock Drive in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owners to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Ross?
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Are the homes with tornado damage, are these the ones, I mean, that we are, no, this is not from tornado. Okay. It is.
That one looked like it.
It is, but
This was done before.
Okay.
it would,
There was issues for.
This is.
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
R 2441, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution certifying the amount of cleanup lien to be filed with the Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 1217 West 19th Street in the city of North Little Rock.
So move.
Second.
You need a public hearing on
I'm
this.
gonna have to have y'all, this is a separate public hearing, my apologies. Those wishing to speak for or against this one on this would be, give me the address again, Jim, please. That
Sir,
would be
it is 1217
17
West
West
19th Street.
19th. Anybody here want to speak for or against this on the public hearing, I'll have to convene it. Seeing none, I'll adjourn this public hearing, let's call it for a vote.
Okay. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
O 2408, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
An ordinance establishing job classifications and numbers of employees for each department of city government for 2024. First reading.
You want to suspend
Declaring
it, you guys
emergency.
go to that and then come back to you? You
Move
want
in
to
the
talk?
reading.
Got questions.
She's got a question, Ms. Ross, Ms. Robinson.
Let's,
She said she wanted she'll get a question now.
Miss Betty,
Betty's here.
if we could suspend the
That's
readings
what I
and
asked her,
get
but
it
she
on.
said she wanted to talk.
Well, I know, but if we could get it on the floor first, just so we're following procedure.
Okay.
Can we do that? Thanks.
To her.
Move suspend the readings.
Second.
Thanks, Ms.
There's a
London.
motion to suspend, there's a second now.
All right. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Ms. Robinson.
Okay, I have several questions. Okay. I noticed in the quota packet that we are deleting 12 positions with recreation program aides. Why are we cutting those 12 positions?
Because we don't have Funland anymore with the tornado, so that's why they're eliminated. We don't need those part-time positions. They cannot be filled.
My next question is, I also noticed in the packet that we are cutting all the positions in Public Works, and
We're actually not cutting them. We're moving them to the correct department.
so you reorganize.
We reorganize. Several of the positions that were in Public Works actually belong underneath traffic, and so we move them to Traffic Department, and we move engineering to its own separate department.
Well, I just wish I don't know, the rest may have known about it, but I just wish I kind of had known about it. If I hadn't gone through this packet, I would not have known about that. The next thing I saw where a couple of positions were changed from grade to non-grade.
Yes.
So were the positions changed? Was it a promotion? Was it more money or decrease in monies? Why?
Were they changed from
They
graded
were
to,
from grade to non-grade.
on which positions? If you can tell me which one, I can tell you.
Gardening.
Gardening, no, that wasn't changed because of promotion.
It wasn't changed because of promotion?
No.
Okay, let me ask this then. So when this person's grade is changed from a grade to a non-grade, does the non-grade do they still get the cost of living increase?
Yeah, everybody gets the cost of living increase. In order for a person to get a raise for non-graded, then they have to show justification and submit it through the channels. It's not automatic.
Whereas with the regular grade, is the regular grade automatic?
A regular grade has steps, and it depends on what step that you're hired in on. And so if you're hired at a graded position, there's 5% steps in between. We pick a position, whether it's graded or non-graded, based on salary surveys of that position, and we set the position. If it cannot fit on a grade, then we make it non-graded.
In my opinion, and I guess this is as a retired public employee, look like to me when you hire a person in, they were hired in as a grade. And then I guess because of a promotion or whatever, they moved from a grade to a non-grade.
It depends on the situation. Some positions don't fit on a scale, or if you put them on the scale, they'll make more than what the position was actually budgeted for and what it would normally get paid. When we do a position, we do a salary study, and we determine what that position will get paid. So let's say we do a salary survey, and that position is set for a certain amount, such as, let's say it's $55,000. If we put it on a grade, and that's what that grade is, then it'll continue to move up and up and up and get off the salary scale. So that's why some positions are placed as non-graded rather than put on a scale.
Well, what I think, and I know my opinion doesn't count much, but let me ask this. So if a person is grade,
yes,
and you want to move them to non-grade for whatever position, can that person say, I don't want to be a non-grade, keep me at a grade? And if they say that,
that's not an option.
It's not an option.
No, employees don't set their salary. The city does.
All right.
Anybody else? Ms. Robinson, anything else? Anybody else? So where are we right now?
We need a motion.
Motion.
For adoption.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Sulaco?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Sulaco?
Yes.
Thank you.
02409, Councilmember Baxter.
Please call it.
Yes, sir. An ordinance amending the zoning ordinance number 9263, to include definitions, uses, and restrictions regarding metal shipping containers, declaring emergency, first reading.
Move to suspend all readings.
Second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Sulaco?
Yes.
Motion for adoption?
We had,
Hang on just a
Do you
second.
want to let them speak first?
Well, it's up to you. I see Ms. Ross here first, and then you tell me what you'd like to do.
Do I have the floor?
Yes, one of y'all have the floor. Mr. Baxter.
Okay, thank you. So let me just give a quick, kind of an executive summary on this. So I was approached by some folks out in our neighborhood that was devastated after the tornado. And as it relates to taking care of the property, the reconstruction piece of it, and being, responsible with their funds, it came to light that it was actually a little bit cheaper to put in one of these containers and use it as an accessory structure than it was to build a stick place. Under the fact that you've lost your stick building because the tornado came through and blew it away. Additionally, come to find out that if you take one of these containers and bolt it into the ground, bolt it into a concrete slab, that these things will actually withstand an EF5 tornado. So, if we allow these into the residential areas, what you're doing is you're doing two things, in my opinion. Number one, you're saving some folks some money. And then the additional thing that you're doing is you're supplying them with a safer location to be in a tornado, okay? We already know that PTSD exists, and obviously going through one of these is something that would cause PTSD. I've already seen on Facebook, the last 2 times that we've had the siren go off. As a matter of fact, we had it go off Friday night. Right. And folks were kind of, their blood pressure went up and they started kind of, reliving those emotions from previous. So this will provide 2 things. Provide them an opportunity to rebuild their storage shed, accessory structure, whatever you want to call it, as well as provide them with an opportunity to provide a nice, sound, safe tornado shelter for them. It's very difficult to go in and redo a Frady hole inside the house because the house has more or less already been designed, as well as try to put a Frady hole out in the yard, right? The expense of that, trying to build out the big hole, get the concrete structure and place it in the ground. So in this particular amendment to the zoning ordinance, what you have is you're allowing for one container. It will comply with the setback requirements for any other accessory structure that we currently have on the books, comparing apples to apples, all right? As it relates to people saying, wow, those things are ugly, I don't want to see one in my neighborhood. Well, here's the deal, all right? So we're gonna allow it under my suggested piece of legislation here. But you cannot have any external markings on it at all, right? It's not gonna say Maersk, it's not gonna say Sea Ark. It will be painted, or else it'll have some type of material on the outside. So there's their looking bad or whatever, if you will. 10 by 40, right? So there's your size. You can only have one. Additionally, I put requirements in there for screening. Okay, you'll either have to screen it with landscaping, or you can use opaque fencing. So this is how I'll address this in an effort to reach out to our folks in the tornado damaged areas. Yeah.
You want to recognize, sir?
Yes, I'd like to recognize, well, it's actually you, Mayor, needs to recognize Ms. Stanley.
I know, that's why, but I want to make sure. Ms. Ross, Ms. Robinson, I'm sorry, my apology. Ms. Robinson.
Oh, I'm not against it. I watch Home and Garden, and they use these even as homes. But what you're saying is that this shipping container can take EF5 tornado?
That's right. If it's bolted down
Bolted.
to the ground, to the concrete structure, concrete pad. Now, I will say this in relation to that, Ms. Robinson, we had 2 that were located out at Burns Park. One was a little bit closer to the eye, if you will, of the tornado than the other one. One sustained no damage, didn't turn over. The other one simply went like that, just turned over. That was it. No damage to it other than it just went over it. However, let's understand that that was not secured to the ground. So.
Is it Ms. Stanley? You got your public comment. I'm going to have to wait unless identified till at the public comment section. Is that okay with you?
Actually, Mayor, she signed up for an agenda item.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yep. When
it's
you sign
public
up for
comment.
an agenda item, you can speak during
I don't see it here. I see public comment. So if you want to come forward, come on.
It's at the top.
Huh?
It's at the very top.
Okay. I see it now. All right, Ms. Stanley, identify yourself, please, ma'am.
I'm Melinda Stanley. I live at 220 Wilson, and I was affected by the tornado that happened in Amboy area. Approximately a year ago, we were hit by a devastated tornado. I myself, I've helped other people with damaged and different things going on when things have happened in the city, but I've always been able to leave. I've never had it right there in my own home. As I said, at the time, I was at the house, and we experienced brunt of the storm. I heard the wind ravage my neighborhood. While it only lasted a moment, it seemed like a lifetime. Like many people now, hearing the warning signs, I jump at my feet in anxiety and start looking for a safe place to hide. I witnessed the damages to some of the homes in my neighborhood and wondered how people survived. While we lost sheds and structures and damage to our home, we have started to rebuild our facility. After the storm, we started to rebuild our home and our outbuildings because we had 2 sheds out there that the tornado took, and we don't know where they are. Doing some research, we found that the shipping containers served the needs of 2 areas in a secured shelter for tools or shed to use it as a storage building would be one. The other, it qualifies for an F5 storm shelter if it's bolted down correctly. We did do some research, and Hums Hardware designed the test of the containers for this information, for the deal. The property, our property is set up, or the property, if the property is set up to be secured, where that we can secure, or the person that's wanting the building has secured, you can bolt it down like they were saying, and it can become a storm shelter. I think that with modifications to these containers, it would be very valuable tool. These containers are repurposed, making them green. I think we've seen them all over, using them for different things. Weather tight, strong, and modified, they would be a storage shed, making theft or property deterrent, being strong enough to withstand the storms. If anchored, they work as a storm shelter. The cost, as Mr. Baxter said, to build a building the size of one of the containers is anywhere from $13,000 to $15,000. But the containers can run $4,000 to $7,000. $4,000 is plain. You can add doors to it, you can paint it, and things like that, and that goes up to around $7,000, which, as you said, that's half of what it is. I did survive the storm. I do have anxiety, which, I mean, we have a lot of people in our neighborhood that does. I know we need a secured area for everybody, for people to go to. And also, I think, you know, if once they're painted or you put the siding on it, they look as good as another building does.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody? Ms. Ross? Ms. Taylor first? Whoever. One of y'all.
Council member.
I mean, my heart goes out, and I understand that, you know, the repercussions and from this. And so I guess one of my things is, when I first read this, that they can be in the backyard or the side yard. We have a lot of houses on the corner, or their side yard faces the street. So I don't know if Mr. Spencer can come speak towards that. So it's not like it's set back from the front building lot on a corner lot, because on a corner lot, you've got that. I didn't know how this worked, because these are much larger than most storage buildings.
Hear the question,
Ms.
Mr.
Ross,
Spencer?
it has the same setbacks as any other accessory structure would
Did you hear
have.
the-
It's
Did you hear the
allowed
question, Mr. Spencer?
the same place that a other type of shed would be.
Right, but you've got these.
Correct. Yeah, so it would be allowed on a corner lot, it would be allowed 5 feet from the sidewalk.
5 feet from the sidewalk.
Now, it would also require either some trees or some sort of screening or a fence.
Yeah, and okay, so then my next one was, how do we ensure that that screening is kept up if you just put, you know, bushes die and things like that? My other question is too, because, you know, you said anchor it, who ensures that it is anchored properly? Because, I mean, if these aren't anchored properly, I would think that the tornadoes would pick them up and carry them away, and then you'd have more falling out in the neighborhood. So will there be some, you know, some requirements for them to be properly anchored? Will the
So
city?
this ordinance is for using it as a shed. So there's nothing in here.
Nothing in there about using it for a tornado
Correct, yeah,
shelter?
so that's a whole new.
Okay, because
mean,
I didn't know anything
Either we
about-
could, you know, write a separate ordinance just for storm shelters,
Right.
or but this is not a storm shelter ordinance.
Okay.
And we haven't done any research or anything on that to say.
Because the storm shelter brings on a whole nother.
Yeah, because some of those containers aren't built the same as other ones. So you just can't say generically all of them are treated the same.
Okay, so, and then if there's any cut into the storm shelter, or into the container,
Yeah.
they do have to get a permit, have to get a structural engineer?
They'll have to, yeah, so the containers are designed to stack on top of each other. You've seen pictures of them 20 tall on the back of a ship. They're designed to stack on top of each other, but as soon as you cut a window or a door in it, other than what was originally designed, you've changed the structural integrity of the container, and we'll need a structural engineer to say that it is now safe. It's not going to fall on somebody.
So anyone that wanted to use it for a storm shelter, then they would have to have a structural engineer, because they're going to have to cut a door in it to get into it, correct? Is that,
Possibly, yes, yeah.
I mean, or windows, or it just
Well,
open
you
out
would think
doors?
you put a window in it, it's no longer a storm shelter.
Okay.
That would be, that would be my first
Trying to get-
reaction
Okay,
to
and then
that.
it says it has to have ventilation. How does it have, are these things ventilated? Because in the legislation, it says they have to be ventilated.
At the moment, they're not, so I mean, you would
So then you're
put some
having to
vents in it.
cut.
Yeah,
so-
again, you're cutting it to, and
So if you
you'd have to-
ventilate, then you're cutting into it, so I don't understand then how, so if they ventilate it, then they have to have a structural engineer because it's being cut into?
if you're cutting into it. Again, we don't know, there's a difference between putting a vent in that big and one that big.
Okay.
So we don't know what the size of the hole is, so generically, you got to say, we need a structural engineer to okay that.
You
This-
yield the
there's
floor?
a-
I've got another question. You yield, or you okay? Mr. Taylor?
So, we're talking about allowing people to put how big?
10 feet by 4.
Timber 40.
That's a big building. That's a big box.
Some houses.
Metal building in the backyard or on the side yard.
Or the side yard.
Mr. Baxter?
So as it relates to using these as a tornado shelter, I'm sure that most of you are unaware that St. Christopher Homes over on Donovan Briley has one of these on their property to be used as a tornado shelter. And it's properly bolted onto a slab.
So currently, we have regulations on these containers in the city. You have to have a permit, correct? Or is that just
So
in
if-
commercial, or is that
yeah,
residential?
So if you're remodeling your house and you need something to store your furniture in while you're remodeling, that's part of the permit. So you can have a pod in your driveway. You know, there's some rules of where it could be,
Right.
but you can have it there as long as you have an active building permit.
Okay.
And that will give you a place to put your dining set and, bedroom set and stuff in there while you do that room, remodel that room. So that's one way to do it. If you want one just for 30 days, like you're moving, you can come in and get a free permit. We just need to know about it to make sure you're not putting it out in the street or blocking something.
So I'm just curious how Christopher Homes.
So Christopher Homes went through the process and we approved it. So it's a
temporary?
commercial. It's commercial.
Oh, it's
So,
commercial.
and it's being used solely for a shelter. And so that was the purpose of it. So we will approve a shelter, and again, it's an accessory structure. So it's not, it's a shelter, a storm shelter. And we went through and we approved it.
So did they cut holes in it, or is it ventilated, or?
I don't think, it's supposed to be just a storm shelter, so there's,
Breathe.
And where is it?
Breathe.
Christopher Holmes
What's
in
got to
the
be
back.
ventilated to
Huh?
breathe in it?
Christopher Home, what's that? I don't have the address.
Donovan Briley?
It's on Donovan Briley.
St. Joseph's?
That's
I think it's in Elder.
Yes.
Oh, so it's a commercial use.
Yes, it's commercial use. It's not single-family residential. It's a commercial use.
But what this is residential.
Because those are facilities for senior citizens.
Anybody else?
A
Ms.
10-foot
Taylor,
by
you still got the floor. I'm
10-foot by 40-foot metal building,
In a
metal
residential-
box
In a
Box,
residential
yes.
yard. Yep.
in a residential area, permanently.
Be looking at Mr. Baxter.
The deal is this is providing just another alternative for someone, just like it would a stick building. I could do a stick building, and what's the difference?
There's a big difference.
It's still 10 by 40. What's 10 by 40? 400 square feet. The only difference is what the structure is made out of, more than anything else. I mean, an accessory structure is an accessory structure, whether it's made out of wood, whether it's a Morgan building, whether it's a actual metal building that we see commercially around the city, these days. All you're doing is allowing this to be used as an accessory structure. Additionally, the caveat to that is these can actually be used for a storm shelter if they're installed a certain way. So that's an additional benefit of allowing these. I'm not going to go to my shed, not in a storm. However, if I have it on a slab and it's bolted down, it's much safer. Again, it's just an option. If someone wants to pursue it, they can.
Well, and I understand it being an option, but man, I tell you, usually when you open up Pandora's box like that, it becomes more than an option. It becomes the norm.
Well, and to that I would say this, Mr. Taylor, I don't know exactly how many homes in our neighborhoods, the way they're constructed, would actually allow for the placement of a shipping container as an accessory structure, simply because you can't get between the two houses as far as placing it in the back. And a lot of our residences don't even have side yards.
So, Mr. Spencer, if we did this and it becomes a tornado shelter, is that what we're calling it?
Yes, that'd be fine. Storm shelter.
A storm shelter. Yeah. So that means that in the event of a storm, people are going to live in this thing, right? Or taking shelter in this thing.
Correct. But that's not what, this ordinance is not for that.
Oh, this is, okay. So this ordinance is just saying, we're gonna let you put a 10-foot by 40-foot metal box in your yard.
Correct, in the backyard, or side
yard.
So we're not talking about this, so this isn't tornado protection?
No.
So this will take the place of a tough shed or?
Yeah, something you get at Home Depot, it's the exact same, what they're wanting to do. And so where we got with this, 18 years ago, we had a gentleman somewhere in Rose City, I think Boyer, took a Morgan building and turned it into a house.
I remember that.
Okay, and so at that point in time, the mayor at that time had said, and made a regulation, said, no, we're not allowed, anything that's not stick-built has to come through city council. And that's why every time we have a manufactured home, it comes through you guys. We've had a couple of somebody wanting to use a storage container as a home, had come through you guys, and it got turned down. But so that was the background of it, was that Boyer Street Morgan building trying to be used as a house. We had to go to court to get it removed.
Yeah, he actually built it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we literally had to go to court to get it off the property because he didn't want to move it. And so the concern right now is someone turning one of these into a STR without telling us about it, because there's some fumes and stuff that come out of the wood on the floors that aren't healthy.
So let's fast forward. Now we've allowed for people to have this 10 by 40 metal container in their yard. And I want to turn mine into a tornado shelter or whatever. Does it have to, now do you have to come back and get it permitted? Does it have, what's the rules? So if people, all right, so I got this metal box in my backyard. A tree falls, bam, right in front of it, and I can't get out of it. Can't nobody get to me for a week. What's the rules around that? I'm just sitting there for a week?
Hopefully you got some paper and food in there. Yeah,
so basically,
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, I guess my question is basically it's like a house.
It could be, yes.
Like a shed?
Just like a shed, could be a house also.
Mr. Baxter,
Metal shed?
we really yield the floor.
So
Okay,
I do,
yeah.
Mr. Spencer, do I have to have my house, if I'm staying in my bathroom, which is what they all the meteorologists say, to take shelter in your bathroom and put a mattress over you, do I have to get that approved through planning?
No.
Or through city council?
No,
I don't have to call it a tornado shelter?
no.
But I use it as a tornado shelter, do I not?
Yep.
If I wanted to build a 10 by 40 metal building, I don't have to come through this council, do I? I do have to go through planning,
Correct.
but not through this council.
No.
And I can put it 5 feet from the sidewalk, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to make it apples and apples. All you're doing is I'm saying that the additional reason to allow these is because it can be used for something else that protects our citizens, if they choose to do it.
Ms. Ross, I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor, Mr. Ross, I'll come back.
Okay.
Do we have a lot of 40-foot accessory buildings, storage buildings on 5 feet from the sidewalk on side lots like that? I mean,
Not a lot, and they're usually not long, you know.
Right.
Most of them are like 10 by 10 or
Right.
12 by 12. You know, they're usually the Home Depot shed type thing.
so my next question is, you know, somebody sees, oh, my neighbor got one in, and they bring one in. How are we going to regulate these to make sure that they have you know, a structural engineer that, you know, that it's
When they come in and get a
properly-
permit, we'll say, you know, we'll ask them that question, but there's nothing stopping them from, you know, after we go out and inspect it, and cut holes in it, and put windows and doors in it after the fact.
Then it's not structurally
But that's true with anything. I mean,
Ms. Robinson?
My only thing about it is, with it being a 10 by 40, you know, we would probably have to monitor that and make sure that it doesn't become more than a shed, or it doesn't become more than, because people can live in it. They can set them up, you know, so.
Just like they can live in any abandoned home that's out there. People.
Ms. Ross?
I guess my biggest concern is that it's properly anchored, because you could be causing more of a problem in the neighborhood if they're not properly anchored, and we have a tornado like we came through, they could pick it up if it's not properly anchored. People just bring them in and set them down on the ground.
yes, yeah.
They're not anchored, so we're possibly creating a larger problem there. And how do we regulate that? They've already brought it in. Do you go out and say, you gotta take it out if it's not properly anchored?
But that's one of the things we found when the tornado came through Amboy and perhaps through Indian Hills as well. The accessory structures aren't really secured to the ground.
Right.
I mean,
And they took 'em
and
out.
they're much lighter and are much more susceptible to even an EF1.
Right. But they're
And we
not,
allow those,
they're not 40 feet long of steel.
but they could be.
Yeah.
Because if I purchase a 10 by 40 foot Morgan building, I'm good to go.
No, it's not gonna weigh what a container does, so.
All right, Mr. Hamilton?
So I don't fear the worst-case scenario type thing. I am okay, and I hope I'm not costing you votes here, I am okay with innovation and deregulation as it comes to zoning, code, accessory houses, accessory buildings, housing. I think it's time for this city and a lot of cities to reconsider housing and helping to provide, you know, more housing in terms of averting any crisis that we might have. So I am for innovation and alternatives when it comes to some of these codes and zoning, and I certainly think this is a good step in the right direction. If we find out it has issues, we can correct, but I don't think that loosening the chain a little bit is a bad thing when it comes to this type of regulation. So I support it.
I got one question, please. So we've got a 10 by 40 building that's metal, and I heard y'all say a while ago that, Ms. Stanley, where do your home is on a corner or not?
No, it's,
So how would you,
it kind of is, our street goes down.
so I'm still trying to figure out how they get it in the backyard.
Put the microphone.
Come on up to the microphone, Ms. Stein. I gotta have you do this, I'm sorry. So the question is, I'm using you for example, so you live at 220 Wilson Street, is that
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes.
So my question is, you got a 10-by-40, all-metal building coming to you, how does it get there?
It's going to get there with a flatbed trailer.
So it can back
It
down?
can back right in, it goes right back, it goes in, it slides it off, you put it down, and then it just pulls back.
Okay, because your house is, I'm trying to figure out where somebody said a while ago, most houses have houses beside them. Maybe it was Mr. Baxter. Yes, sir.
So in her particular instance, her lot is rather large and the lot next to hers is rather large, and there's not a fence there. So that, in her particular instance, she could put one in there because it's, the way that the tracks are,
I
or the
will
lots,
tell you,
they could.
I will tell you in the Amboy area, of course, our houses are not as close as some of the newer areas are. So, but there is room to, if you can put a tractor in there to deliver something, I mean, you can get one of those in
Gotcha.
there.
That was the only, where are we on this right now? We got any more
I don't
questions?
think there's been a motion.
There has been a motion of, Miss, anybody else got any comments? Ms.
No,
Ross, you do?
Well, my concern right now is who's going to oversee this to make sure that they're, properly anchored if they're going to use, I guess we don't have to have them properly anchored. I just don't want to create another problem of having flying containers flying around if they're not anchored. They just bring them in and set them down because we'll have no way to know if they're anchored or not. That's not, that's not anything in this regulation. And then the side yard. I'm having a real hard time with the side yard.
Anybody else?
Well, here's my final comment. So a boxcar train car is 10 feet wide by 55 feet long. So basically, I'm gonna be having a boxcar train box sitting in the side or in the back of my yard, basically.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Anybody else? Ms. Ross? And then I'll come back to you, Mr. Baxter.
Yes, sir. Mr. Baxter.
Mr. Baxter then.
Let me come at it this way, right? Your problem seems to be that you've got an issue with the security, because there's nothing in here as it relates to the security.
True.
So, counselor, excuse me, let's throw an amendment out there that it must be placed on a concrete pad and secured.
Okay.
Properly secured.
So.
That's my amendment.
Does it go to
Okay.
planning? Will it go to planning, Mr. Baxter?
Debbie, would you talk out loud, please? Because I can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, no, I wasn't
I don't
saying
know if
anything.
you're talking to me or.
No, I'm talking to
Okay,
myself.
okay,
So it
I do that a lot.
has
okay.
to go through planning.
So what is your amendment, Mr. Baxter? I think we could add it under requirements that,
That it be placed on a concrete pad
okay,
and secured.
concrete
So
pad
how do we know?
and secured. Let me ask Mr.
Well, if it's-
Spencer, do you all, when you give permits for sheds, do you all go and do inspections after they're placed, or you just give the permit?
There you go.
It sort of matters how big it is and where they're putting it. So
Okay.
if they're building one from scratch,
Uh-huh.
we'll go out and inspect it. If it's coming in on a truck and dropped off, we'll drive by to see if it's in the right place. And that's about it. So,
Okay.
make sure that they say we're gonna put it back in the right corner and it's in the front yard.
Okay,
Move it to the right place.
okay.
But I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Uh-huh.
we need to know, are we pouring it on a 1-inch concrete pad or, there needs to be some specifics to guide us because there's not really a code to bolt a container to concrete. So we sort of need some guidelines.
And let me tell you,
Can I ask, let me make a suggestion with Mr. Baxter. Is it okay if you hold this till we get all these questions answered and possibly bring it back? Is that something you could consider with the council? Is that okay with y'all? So because we've got
Okay
a lot
with
of
me.
questions here that we need to get answered.
And it's
So-
Mr. Baxter's
I know, I'm
legislation.
asking, so I'm about
I'm
to
willing
ask
to
you.
hold it so we
Okay.
can't nail down that little piece
Yeah,
of it.
that'd be
Okay.
nice to have in here. And then if we want to make it storage or storm shelters, I don't know if you want to address that in here also.
Why don't you get, Mr. Spencer, let's get the questions
We'll-
answered
we'll
right,
work on
meanwhile,
it.
he's held it.
Well, my final comment, here's my problem. We come up with this, things like this, and now we've just placed another burden on code enforcement or whoever it is that's gotta be looking at this and overseeing it. And they don't have the bandwidth now to keep up with the stuff we already got them doing. So we're gonna add, this on top of what they already do. I mean, who's gonna keep up with that?
Yeah, that's going to be an issue if they start becoming as popular as Mr. Hamilton had said. You know, there might be a bunch of them. And then there's also concern on, you know, we're talking about, you know, it's got to be hidden by a fence. What if that fence is the neighbor's fence and they take it down? Now, are you going to require the property owner to put a fence up? Or the trees die, or whatever the bush, the screenery dies? You know,
This is just
we
way too
don't
many
have a way
variables.
to.
Meanwhile,
to
guys,
affect it, so.
it's being held by the.
I'm gonna hold
sponsor.
this.
He's gonna hold it. It's being held by the sponsor, okay? Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, sir. 02410, Councilmember Taylor.
Councilmember who?
Taylor?
Oh, I was thinking about a metal box, I forgot my name. Please call it.
Yes, sir. An ordinance rezoning certain property located at 520 and 524 West 14th Street in the city of North Little Rock from R3 to R4 zoning classification by amending ordinance number 9263, declaring emergency, first reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Somebody wants to speak on this.
Okay.
Is there Jeff, Aden?
Move to adopt.
There's You're okay? Oh, okay, he says okay.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Well, nobody can talk about it until it's on the floor.
Second.
Motion second, but do you want to talk? It had to be on the floor to be, you're okay right now?
Yeah.
All right, let's go with it.
All right. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
02411, Mayor Hartley?
Yeah,
For
please call
consideration
it.
only.
And I've got some people on speak on it, so go ahead, let's get it to the, before you
Okay, sir.
talk.
An ordinance granting a special use to allow an event center in a C3 zone for certain real property located at 2657 Pike Avenue in the city of North Little Rock, declaring an emergency.
Let's go ahead and get it to the floor,
First
and I'll
reading.
recognize these two people, okay?
Suspend the readings.
Second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Right now, Mr. Hunter, Harlan, come on up. You want to speak on this, I think? And I have another person at 2657 Pike.
We didn't move to adopt.
Are they in the audience tonight? Go ahead, Mr. Hunter, I'll check. Okay. Mr. Hunter, go ahead, please.
Hello, Mayor and council people. I was pretty much aware that they trying to do an event center in the location. There's a lot of things going on right now in the community that probably won't sustain an event center because it said from 7 to 2 a.m. And not knowing the full scope, because a lot of times, a lot of your event centers become party places. And when that occurs, you have more activity going on, could be whatever the activity may be. It could be drugs, it could be whatever. And not knowing the full scope of what they're trying to actually do, it caused concerns to Barron Cross a great deal. Also, not only Barron Cross, but Cindy Kill, when you start bringing people in and you don't know actually what's taking place in the event center. Is it, because I know a couple event centers have turned into where people rent them out every weekend and become a club. So that's been a concern for the residents of Barron Cross, not knowing what actually taking place. And the community being where it's at right now, so much is going on, it causes concern to us. It causes a great deal of concern. And I hope that we can be able to sit down and figure a way that we could come up with a plan if it go from 7 to 12. Or you have police security, off-duty police officers that can also be around the facility will make a big difference as well. That's what I have to say on that, Mayor.
Thank you. We have another gentleman, Mr. I hope I'm saying your name is Albino? Albino? Albino, my apologies. Would you come forward, please? Please identify yourself, please, sir. And
Albino Gutierrez.
thank you, sir. You're up. Go ahead.
Okay. My proposal to bring this a place that's not like a nightclub. I don't like nightclubs. This is one. Number two, he tried to bring it something for everybody, to conventions, concerts, like the people he need to come from other states to bring us something to the teach marriage, like wife and husband, he have problems. He need to have a place to bring this demonstrations for the future for the families. This place I try open. There's not only for one thing. Concerts, yes. Sell a beer, yes. One of the things is concerts and sell a beer. I have people working with me together. He have rules exactly. They don't bring it like I say, children, have 20 years up. Everybody coming there for concerts, you need to have 21 years up, or the people drink. And I don't need to look at how you have 18 or you have 17. No. In that case, when I have concerts. Many of those concerts is for family. The concerts is for bringing the husband, wife, grandma. There's concerts that people sit out. Not many of those people dancer, just to look at how the artists finish, go. Sometimes these concerts, they finish 10 o'clock, sometimes 8, because the others, they come for another stay, and they come over here early and go out. For the noise, I hear many times he say, he make the noise, the people make the noise. It's not necessary the people in that area. I have pictures for concern in that plaza. I try bring I have a radio station in Spanish. I'm the first radio station in AM and FM, but AM covered the whole state, Arkansas. Did you guys give it to me a permission to put that Civic Center open for the community? I try bringing my radio station to North Little Rock. I'm talking about my radio station, my business is like $500,000. The concerts, you got to spend money in hotels, gasolines, restaurants. The people visiting and spend money in North Little Rock. This is my concern. For the people come out when they finish the concert, in my opinion, I got to pay the police stay outside. When the people go out, that people need to go out. Go to home, no making noise. No play in the cars right there in this case. So that's why I say I try to bring a business to North Little Rock. But I check it out, the whole plaza. In the back of the alley, the General Dollar or dollar store something, 2 months for now, it's a bunch of garbage like this high. And nobody clean, and nobody put a complaint. This is garbage. He make rats, he makes animals right there. I try to bring something to that plaza and put it live now. And you guys have a chance, because I stay in this thing to cancel my contract and go out for that plaza. Next to the building right there in the corner, that door is open. It's still the whole copper and plumber and everything. I speak to the owner this morning. You know, the building right there is open, and it's still everything. Everything, that building is open, the doors is open, everything is open. And I try to bring the money to North Little Rock and bring the business right here. But you guys say no, I think I'm happy.
Okay, well, here's
And
the
you
deal.
guys say yes?
Okay, got you. Any questions for him? Ms. Robinson?
You mentioned concerts and alcohol or beer. How many people are you expecting to be in this building at your activities? How many people?
Depends, everything depends. Depends the concerts, what type of artists you bring it. Everything depends. But the fire department, they say the property right there, and he put the door, you need to put a door in the back of the building to this way.
Seem like
It's a 1964.
Right at 2,000.
That like 2,000. I don't think so. I don't think so. You gotta bring 2,000 people there.
So 1,900 people
I don't think so.
from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m.,
Yes.
1,900 people.
7 a.m. No. It's
No.
gonna be only night. Not early in the morning or.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, you said concerts.
Concerts, it's not gonna be always.
Yeah,
There will
no.
be sometimes not.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, it all depends.
Maybe one time a month,
Exactly.
maybe 2 times a month, maybe never.
And it's gonna be a lot of police. We're trying to order a
I'll
lot
try-
of police
yes.
and security team. For the people there for IDs, we're gonna check the IDs, like the new machines and everything. So will be
Yeah.
no drugs dealer, will be nothing in there. Will be only music, so that people enjoying.
I know that there has been concerns from the people that live Scenic Hill, and also concerns from people that live in the Barron Cross community. And I think their concerns are legitimate, because it kind of bothers them that, you know, let's say you can have a concert and have close to 2,000 people there, and you're open from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. And
No, it can't open 7 a.m. Because you're talking about in the morning to 2 o'clock.
It's just gonna be
No.
like a few hours, like 3
I
to
can't
4
open
hours.
to 7 o'clock a.m. No, you say a.m. No, it's like 9 p.m. to 2 o'clock in the morning. It's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. It's only 5 hours. But you say a.m. No, it can't open. It's too much time.
Okay.
Anybody, Ms. Ross?
So you're saying that 7 a.m., because I know I spoke to you
No,
that.
no 7 a.m.
We're not gonna open.
You know, open is.
We'll have other events besides concerts there too, correct? I mean,
Well, the
like,
concerts they start as look at this.
what,
The engineers he started working like 5 p.m.
Right.
to ready to 8 or 9 p.m. Concerts started sometimes 8 to 9. They finish 2 o'clock.
But-
The beer you need to stop into cellar like 1:35. No more beer.
Okay, but what I'm saying, that you're having more than just concerts there, correct? You will be using the center for more than just concerts.
An event center.
Yeah, you open. Yeah,
it
for
just been-
open and other things, no cellar beers. Just yeah,
With the concert.
yeah, just only in the concerts. You know, when he got the cellar beer, no, it's solely for concerts. When he have a conventions, the convention is different. It's when the people come, because the Latino community, they don't have a place to somebody come and make it like teach for the future, for marriages, divorces, or this kind of stuff. So sometimes he have the husbands first and go out, and the ladies come back and listen the preachers or the people come. They don't have it right here in the community. But I try to bring a business to North Little Rock. But in this case, the last time he told me for the lights in the parking lot. The lights in the parking lot is the city, they supposed to be fix it, but he never fixed it. I talked to the owner. The owner, he say, the city send it to me a bill because this is a light city. He's supposed to send a bill. He never sent the bill to the owner because the other meeting he have, he say, he need to put in new lights. And I look it out everywhere over there, say, no, that lights, somebody else.
All right, let's get through this. Mr. Hampton, please.
Well, I don't start off opposing anything, so he made a good case for it, but I certainly, and I haven't gotten emails, it's not my board, and I can understand why they would email y'all and I wouldn't hear about it. But that's a big step. I mean, let's not even say 2,000. Let's say 1,000 person event center is big. And I like the idea of money, and I like the idea of people having a place and a community. And places that sell beer don't scare me. You know, you have to have security. If things go wrong, then we shut it down. There are steps in place for that. So I'm not against it, but it concerns me that the council members from your ward, 3, I assume?
He's about to speak, yes.
Okay, are not sponsoring this. I'm not sure what the reasons are against it. I can understand people concerned, but it's a commercial area, so what type of concerns do people have about this? Totally, I mean, if y'all don't support it, I think I default to not support.
Thank you, Mayor. So that is not my area. Pershing is a dividing line between 2 and 3. I can tell you that in the past, I've received comments, emails, whatever, Facebook messages from folks who live up on Scenic Hill as it relates to noise. And that is with it like it is. Adding your number, 1,000 people, exiting an event, whether it be a dance, a concert, a sporting event, whatever, they're going to make noise. And at this point, the way that the legislation is currently written, it can be at 2 a.m., right? Even midnight on Sunday through Thursday. I'm not willing to, it's a noise thing. And the hours, right? Currently, the legislation from 7 to 2 a.m. or 7 to midnight. And as such, I can't support that based on knowing the comments that I've already got as it relates to noise with a smaller crowd.
Just a question. Historically, it's been retail there, right?
Correct.
Not.
I can remember when it was Magic Mart way back in the day.
Or a bowling alley. I remember a bowling alley right near there. Or was that the bowling alley?
No,
was that Pike Lanes?
That was the Magic Mart. At the other end was Otasco.
Yeah.
And at the other end used to be a barber shop way, way, way back in the day.
But retail, we're not talking about concerts, event centers, 1,000 people. Okay, well then,
okay.
Thank you very much for bringing this to us. I think I'd have to default to the ward on this.
Ms. Fields?
Yes.
If this, do they understand that this is for consideration only, it's a special use? If it is turned down, they cannot bring it back so should we let them know what the consequences are if this doesn't go forward?
Well, yeah, if this application is not approved, then under our zoning ordinance, you can't reapply for a special use there for a period of a year.
That's fine.
Y'all do understand. Ms. Ross? Thank
Can I
you,
ask
Ms.
Chief
Fields.
Bessing a question?
Chief Thessing? Chief? Yes, sir. Y'all got to back up for just a second. No, there you go.
So for an event with 2,000 people, there's a concert and there's alcohol being served, how many officers, I know I'm putting you on the spot on this, but how many officers would it take to secure an event like that?
It would be a lot.
A lot.
And I think back to when they had the Noah Club there, we were mandated to be there at closing times because of all the the problems we had, the fights in the parking lots, the screeching tires, the racing cars, that whole 9 yards. So it would be a lot for us, yeah.
And I know you weren't chief back then or whatever, but, you know, I guess one of the things that I've heard from the residents is it's not the ones behind this, it's the ones up on Scenic Hill where the sound travels across the parking lot and up the hill. And I know that you probably, you know, back in the day, you had lots of calls on the sounds coming from up on the hill.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot, yeah.
That was, yeah, so there's a lot more than just that small area on the parking lot.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else from anybody? Okay, where are we right now?
We need a motion and a second.
There's a motion.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
All right. Ross?
No.
Hamilton?
No.
Taylor?
No.
Robinson?
No.
Baxter?
No.
Harris?
No, yes.
Insulaco?
No.
Is that a no or a yes?
Say, was that a no?
I said no.
Okay,
Okay.
so, it has been defeated, sir, so I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
That concludes new business, sir.
For public comments,
you.
I'm gonna go back to Ms. Daniels. Your public comment now. Thank you.
My name's Kendall Daniels. I live at 1812 Waterside Drive in North Little Rock, and my son is a fifth-generation North Little Rocker. I hope my great-grandchildren are still here. I don't think there's a greater place in the whole world. I do attend those.
You got 3 minutes. Okay.
Yes, I do attend those meetings. Mr. Hamilton, you have not been present at any of those meetings. I'm not sure what meetings you're attending, but you can look at the minutes. I've been at them, and to my knowledge, there's none that you've ever been to, even though I have requested that you come. So I'm not sure what meetings you've gone to. My question isn't about the meetings, because yes, they do put out a newsletter, but the question I have, so a few concerns, but 2 questions, is when the Lakewood Recreational Improvement District was created, there was a petition for, and they listed what the duties and responsibilities would be. And it clearly states in here, these persons having been selected for recommendation to you upon the belief that they are particularly qualified to represent the interest of those signing this petition. Those persons whose names are given are presently so residing within the district to represent the various areas within the district. Upon the occurrence of a vacancy in the office of commissioner, an additional canvass will be made in order that the owners of property within the district will participate in the recommendation of a successor commissioner. So I do not have a problem with any particular person at all. My concern is about, do we follow what is in writing? So my question is, does this petition hold any weight? As a council, are you guys supposed to oversee that this improvement district is following what they said they would do when it was created and approved? And then, in addition to that, there's law, Arkansas law, that we have to follow. And one of the things is like the transparency report. It was updated and new reporting was supposed to start for 2022. You'll have to talk to Alan King, I guess, about that, but our reports are not reflecting what they should be and what has been required by the law. And I would just like for some time and consideration to be taken into account that the ID is operating as it was stated it would operate and in line with the law. I do not think anybody is doing anything wrong, has ill intent, or is wanting to do anything wrong. I just want our actions to match what is in writing. And I also just want to take the time so it's on the record to say that our director, Evan Blake, I think he is amazing. I think he does a great job. Our commissioners, I like them. Our board members, all the people there I like. So this is not a personal thing. This is just to make sure our actions match what we said we would do for the people. So in my opinion, you have the choice to give the people, the opportunity to be aware of the vacancy, because I was at that last meeting. It was not on the agenda. They did not notify us of the vacancy. It was in a casual side conversation that I caught wind of the recommendation because it was going to be made, and I said, hey, wait a minute, shouldn't this be announced? So it has not formally been announced or even informally announced. I just happened to find out about it. So that I think we should do the people of the district the right that they should be given for at least being made aware and for consideration of their thoughts to be given.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's what I said earlier, we're gonna give it time for the communication to get out to y'all. That's kind of why I held it for tonight, so.
Yes.
Anyway, all right.
I appreciate it.
Anybody else to see Mr. Hunter? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Hamilton?
No.
Okay, Mr. Hunter, come on, Harlan, you wanted to say something else in public comment? Thank you.
My name is Harlan Hunter. I'm running for JP for District 10, which is Scenic Hill all the way to 161 corridor in Jacksonville. I would definitely like everyone's support. The seat has been vacant for a year and a half. It's better for somebody to be in that seat, and that seat should be me. I have the experience. I'm the president of Barron Cross Neighborhood Association. I sat on the Argenta CDC for 9 years. I'm part of North Little Rock Leadership Council. I serve as North Little Rock Food Desert Chair. So I am Mr. North Little Rock. But I also serve Pulaski County. And I would like to also be notice that Mac Gamma, Rick C., Brush Shyler, Dix Jeter, because I also do a nonprofit for my young men, young people, young ladies for his trades. We got a program called PAC, Positive Attitude Control. And matter of fact, thank you, Ms. Robinson. Ms. Robinson helped me get 4 new students into a welding school, get them certified. I give scholarships to people with young people with trades, from electrician to welding and carpentry work. So March the 5th is voting. Everybody need to vote. Let me be your voice to get things done for Pulaski County District 10. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter, appreciate it. Mr. Post? Everybody's got 3 minutes if you can, please.
Thank you. I'm Robert Post, and I thank the mayor and the council for letting me say a few words. My concern is when I found out that they were building an RV park out, actually right across the road from us, it kind of threw a flag at me and wondering, why in the world would somebody want an RV park between North Little Rock and Scott? And there's no real demand for it. And from what I understand now, that the man in Colorado is, he wants an RV park. And my main concern is there any way that we can assure that that's all it can be? And because of what's going on in the world today. And we've got a lot of people living out there now. And that is my main concern, simply because I don't see the draw. And the KOA used to be over on I-40 that is gone now. So, but that's my main concern, is for it, if it's an RV park, let it be an RV park and nothing else.
You've talked to Mr. Spencer, and I know you have.
I did, and he has been gracious enough to me to give me the contact information of the man in Colorado that's doing it. And when I get it tomorrow, I'm gonna call him.
Let me know too.
Okay, and just ask him straight out, what is your intentions? And because, like I say, I don't see the draw for it, but I have no objections at all for an RV park. I do for maybe somebody looking for a place to live.
Got you. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, appreciate it. Thank you for waiting, Mr. Post, appreciate it. Anything else from anybody right here? Meanwhile, there is a holiday Monday the 19th. So anything else from anybody? Ms. Robinson?
Early voting starts
February 20th.
February 20th.
All right. Anything else?
So moved.
Let's go.
Second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Ross?
Insulaco?
Yes. Ross?